Hey everyone, Joey here, and welcome to this new episode of PS I Love You XO. So I mean, a new GameXplain discussion here. I am joined by Jake because we're talking PlayStation, more specifically the, and I quote, all new PlayStation Plus. My goodness, so much stuff here. It's going to be a more expensive program with 3 different tiers, but it's got some interesting little advantages, notably the power of PS3 game streaming, because why how else do you want to play your PS3 games natively on the hardware? Nobody wants that. All right, but let's bring it over to Jake. He did the news roundup for this sort of deal here. So can you give us a brief summary on what we saw here?
Yeah, so we've known this is coming for a long time. You know, we've got these 3 tiers coming to PlayStation Plus. The bottom one, Essential, it's just the same, no big deal. You're getting the same thing you've been getting the whole time, same price. We've got 2 more expensive tiers, and we have known that there are going to be kind of these new services, classic games, game streaming like PlayStation Now, like you mentioned. We know that those are going to be bundled in here, and now we have a little more specifically, not every game, not everything you're going to be able to do, but a selection, a preview to get us to whet our appetites a little bit, to get us a little interested. So there's kind of like 3 big categories to look at here. There's the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, which are of course downloadable. There is the PS3 game streaming, and then there are the classic games, which also exist in like 2 separate tiers where it's like, oh, here's just the classic games and here's like kind of remasters.
Yeah, interesting that they're saying like some of these are just straight up remasters. Maybe not straight up, but they have the enhancements that you'd kind of expect these games running on new hardware.
Can we go right to there first, actually?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I this did not smell right to me when I did the news update. And it's important to note that like for these select original PlayStation and PSP classic games, there's a new interface that lets you do save states and lets you do rewind functions. And that's really cool, all about that. But the distinction between here's like the normal games and here's the remasters, I thought we were implying that they are remastered like for this program, but that does not appear to be the case. What I'm seeing here is that these are games that were either PS2 classics, so already kind of like up-resed or whatever they did for that, and then put on PS4, PS4. Yeah. Or like these strange third-party games like Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, which I guess is just a remaster in its own right, and like BioShock remaster. Like I don't think there was any remastering happening for the classics.
Huh. That is an interesting point to bring up.
But it's unclear. It's unclear.
It's not very clear. No, it's not. I'm actually just looking at the thing right now. I mean, you were looking at it too, I guess. So there's really not much more information in there. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure exactly how to feel about that. All I know is, like, I'm glad I can actually play the Jack and Daxter games without pulling out my PS3 and playing the HD collection. So, that's really cool. It is
weird. It's definitely weird that, like, I forgot that functionality wasn't, like, baked in on PS5. And to see that here, to at least they do clarify, subscriptions aside, you can download these games if you bought them in the past on your account. I know that's, like, a feature people want, the ability to, like, buy these things a la carte. So that's there too, and I'm actually surprised about that, because normally when you see this new subscription launch come around, the kind of modus operandi is, well, we need to make this valuable, we need you to buy into it, so we don't want you to be able to get these things separately, like with what we see in Nintendo Switch Online, where it's like, I can't just buy a Nintendo 64 game.
For sure. Yeah, we'll get to NSO in a bit, but I do want to talk more about what this service is offering, such as PS4 and PS5 games. What do you know? Look at that. You can play Everybody's Golf. You can play Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. I'm just looking at the list off the top of my head. Little Big Planet 3 and Knack. Jake. We're talking Knack. I'm pretty sure Knack was Knack already available on PS5 with the PlayStation Plus collection? I'm not sure if I remember. But it is kind of like the PlayStation Plus collection that you would get with your original launch PS5. But there's way more of a selection here. Like the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, all the Uncharted games. It looks really cool, I will say that. I've been trying to get my hands on Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut because my copy of the game was lost when I accidentally sold my PS4 Pro with the disc inside. So Yeah, don't remember, kids, eject your discs before you sell your game consoles.
So a few kind of interesting things I'm seeing here. One, I think that this, the addition of these PS4 and PS5 games, I think there actually is a fair amount of added value here.
Yes.
And I think for a lot of us in the gaming space who are maybe like on top of the biggest releases and getting these things as they come, we might look at this and be a little bit like, oh, I've already played all these games, so there's not a lot for me here. But I just want to like pull back on that for a second and say, like, you know, there's some stuff here like Demon's Souls where I can totally understand a lot of people out there being like, maybe this isn't for me. It is so nice to be able to have this little opportunity to just try it. To you know what I mean? To actually just have that opportunity to try it, especially after maybe a ton of people have tried and enjoyed Elden Ring. And there's just like a little bit, there's just like a good amount of PlayStation hits here that I could see people missing, and I think like Gravity Rush 2 and Gravity Rush Remastered are on here, and those are bangers.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm a little surprised about is you actually even said it. Everybody's Golf is on here, and are you aware? Everybody's Golf servers, they're going down in like months.
I didn't know this.
Yes, in like September, I think they're going down.
That's interesting.
Because I love
tells me they'll
everybody's-
back. Somebody tells me they could easily back off if they see like there's still interest in it from this service. Maybe. I'm sure not a lot of people are going to be into Everybody's Golf except, you know, the diehard Everybody's Golf fans. But we'll see how that goes. But you talk about trying out games, Jake.
Yeah.
But you were especially excited about the game trials that this will bring to the table.
Game trials are cool. This leaked a little while back or something. There was a report about this, and the reaction was so negative. And everybody needs to chill. Game trials are cool. It's from what I understand, this is no extra work on the developer end, and is simply a PlayStation system. You know, what is it, authenticating with the servers, making you have access to this title for a certain amount of time. I think it's 2 hours. And like right now, the titles that they have listed here, I know like Wonderland, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Cyberpunk, WWE, Farming Simulator, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, and Horizon Forbidden West. Not super exciting. I get that. That's fine. You've already probably made a judgment on whether or not you want to play those games. But like when a new game rolls around, and it's like, ooh, don't know if I'm trying to like get into my wallet right now. You know, playing it for 2 hours, sometimes that's all you need to be like, oh, I'm convinced, or I can wait. I think that's a nice way of doing it. And I've always loved demos. I'm a demo man. And I think this is a good way of doing it, you know, of not having to commit the development resources to making a demo, but still having something out there that the public can get their hands on, check out. It's cool.
Man, I remember circa 2012, I remember they had that feature for PlayStation Plus too, like right when it launched, like trials for games. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to buy Medal of Honor Warfighter, but I will try it for an hour.
Sure. Yes. No, I think that's cool. It's I actually did it recently with separate from PlayStation Plus. Cyberpunk did this like on its own.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and I did it. I downloaded that game. I'm pretty sure it was the full game download. And it gave me access for 2 hours. I played for 30 minutes, decided it wasn't for me. And I felt great about that. I was like, thank you, Cyberpunk, for letting me know exactly where I stand. You know, total fairness. The one thing I am a little bit like, whatever on is, I can't imagine this scenario really taking place, but maybe there's some developer who is like, the part of the game we don't want to be our first impression is the very beginning. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine that scenario, but maybe they're like, oh, that's, you know, we want you to buy it for some reason. I don't know.
Well,
See, that seems.
I will say Cyberpunk's first 30 minutes are like nothing compared to the rest of the game. Although I haven't played the rest of the game yet, I just played up until Keanu Reeves comes in, which takes like, I don't know, like 4 hours maybe, depending on how many side quests you do. But yeah, but I get that too. It's still a really cool feature to have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And the updates for this are, again, this is like not the full selection, the list that we have from the blog, but they said that the updates for the normal PlayStation Plus stuff, same deal, it's coming on the first Tuesday of the month. And then everything else, there's going to kind of be like a variable date in the middle of the month with a variable amount of content as well. But it sounds like it's not a 1 game a month situation.
I hope not.
You know, you can never tell with these kinds of things. Like, I don't know if you remember, but when they started doing those PS2, whatever they called them,
PS2 Classics or something?
Is that what they called? Oh yeah, whatever.
I don't remember.
The when those started showing up, oh my god, I feel like they just stopped. It was like one, then yeah. So you never know. But I feel like with this service in particular, the way that it's like, kind of, you know, you can't help but be in the same conversation as Xbox Game Pass when you do something like this.
Really can't.
Yeah. So I think that they have a little bit more of an impetus to kind of stick to it and make it this complete thing. But we'll see.
We will see, and we gotta talk about the classic game catalog, which is not huge at all. Like starting out, it is not huge one bit. But I am curious. I'm just gonna list them all off because there's not many. Ape Escape for the original PlayStation, Hot Shots Golf, original PlayStation. All these are original PlayStation except for one. IQ Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Siphon Filter. What is this? Super Stardust Portable, PSP. Are we playing a PSP game on the PlayStation 5?
Yo,
PS4?
that's a good one. Yes, that's a good one. No, wait, don't do this. Don't do this, Joey. That's a good one,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Okay. I'm just like, wow, we're playing a PSP game on, like, are we because they didn't clarify. Like, but I mean, how else are we gonna play them? They're not telling us to whip out our Vitas and play these games. They're saying,
it's on your PS5 for sure.
It's on your PS5. That's exciting.
That's
probably really exciting. Be able to play PSP games on PS5.
It looks like that this is potentially on PS4 as well, but I'm not willing to commit to that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually, hold on one second. I'm looking at a Classic Games catalog. I'm reading it right now. For select original PlayStation, PSP Classic Games, members will also enjoy a user interface, blah, 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 blah. Plus, to play these titles, what is this? Also, players who have previously purchased the digital versions of these select games from the original PlayStation and PSP generation will not have to make a separate purchase or sign up to PlayStation Plus to play these titles on PS4 or PS5.
There you go.
So, there you go. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's the only PSP game on this list right now. What if I want to play Daxter? What if I want to play God of War Chains of Olympus? I want to play these games.
It's definitely weird. This service is launching at the beginning of June, kind of variable around the world, but that's the general time period. And I have to assume that maybe they're just still figuring out all the plans, because they even say, like, this is an early look at a selection of games, so they must know that they have other PSP games. But it is weird that they're like, but in this preview blog post, we are going to tell you about exactly one PSP game, and it is Super Stardust Portable. You love to see it from recently acquired Housemarque.
Yes, makers of Returnal.
Yeah. Stardust, dude, Super Stardust though, that's a game. That is a video game. It definitely is, Joey. I hear where you're coming from though. It is a little weird to be getting hype about playing some of these classic games on console, only because the Nintendo Switch has given me brain rot. And I kind of want portable. You know what I mean? It's like, for the classic ones, the things that makes them kind of like cool and exciting and almost like fresh is that it's portable now.
Yeah, well, we said in our last discussion, like, I want Sony to do another handheld. So
yeah, who doesn't?
Let's cross our fingers. PS Vita 2 or something.
Oh, but what do you think about this little collection?
This little collection looks.
Yeah.
It's weird because there's Ape Escape, of course. Everybody loves Ape Escape, but like, and Siphon Filter 2 is also a big deal. But like, where's like the big, like, PlayStation games that everybody associates with PlayStation, like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. It might be because they're not owned by Sony anymore, so there's probably something there, but you gotta imagine they like at least own the rights to the original like PlayStation versions. I'm not sure how game law works, but and it's also possible they'll just come later, but either way, this is such a weird beginning. And I didn't even mention the third-party partners, Mr. Driller, Tekken 2, Worms World Party, and Worms Armageddon. Many worms in this.
Worms.
Yeah, lots of worms.
Let me slide you a sweet little take here.
Okay.
I feel like this preview of classic games is low-key kind of sick. And let me tell you why. I think when we talk about like, oh man, where's like the classic, the Crash, the Final Fantasies, the things we associate with PlayStation, I have this feeling, and I feel this way about Nintendo a lot, that the games that were truly like the headliners, the classics, the bangers, they have been re-released. Not only have they been re-released, they've been iterated upon. There are some new Crash games that I would just am going to like more than some of the old Crash games. And that's just me. But some of the stuff I'm seeing here, it's like Ape Escape and Ape Escape 2. Yo, I can't get no new Ape Escape. Nope. So there's something about coming back to this. Like Mr. Driller, Siphon Filter, Jumping Flash. Jumping Flash is a little more up like Andre's alley than mine. But it's stuff like that. That's like it's there's a freshness to this because of the titles chosen.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, never heard of Jumpin' Flash before, so all I'm thinking of is that Whoopi Goldberg film, Jumpin' Jack Flash. You don't get the reference.
What?
Whatever. Moving on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, God.
But
Yeah.
and then the next one on this list is the classic games catalog, the remasters. And I know you mentioned this before. It just sounds like they are the PS4 versions of these games that were the PS2. The PS4 versions of PS2 games. It's such a weird thing to say.
No, but that's it, because I bought Ape Escape 2 on PS4. I have that video game. There's no way they did more to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way in hell they did more. Okay. Actually,
PS3?
what were you saying? PS3. Here we go.
PS3?
PS3. Yeah. Okay. You can play these PS3 games on your PS4, which is cool, PS5, which is cool, and PC, which is cool. You know what would be even cooler, Jake? You know what would be even cooler?
What's that?
If it was running natively on the hardware. I cannot stress enough how much I hate game streaming with a burning, fiery passion. They say that you need at least 15 megabits per second internet, right? To get like 1080, 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's still gonna fumble. You're still gonna have frame rate stutters. You're still gonna have low and a high input lag, I should say. It's not gonna look good. Prove me wrong, PlayStation. Prove me wrong. But
Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
Joey, every time I try streaming again, it's better than the last time I tried it.
Okay.
And here's what I've got for you. I live in sweet New York City. Mm-hmm. And one of the benefits of living on this cement island of trash is that my internet speeds are incredibly high. So I thought about this when I first moved here. I was like, this will be my test case. Best case scenario, how is this whole streaming thing? I've got PlayStation Now, I'm on there. And here's what I will say. The second it lags, even for a moment, you're taken out. You are taken out. It is like catastrophic to the experience. It just is. And you don't want to be thinking about your inputs and stuff while you're playing a game. It is absolutely brutal. I completely agree with you. The one thing I will add, though, is that I feel like, I don't know what it is. I feel like Xbox got this stuff figured out.
Yep.
My streaming experience on Xbox has been smooth. So I don't know what it is, but maybe when this relaunches, I'm like, oh, maybe they've got secret servers they're just waiting to plug in. Like, I don't, it's insane. But, maybe there's something going on in the back end for this launch because there's going to be a bunch of new users, supposedly.
Probably. I'm just sitting here like, I know people always use the PS3's cell architecture as like an excuse for them not being able to run on newer hardware. I'm like, whatever. Sony has billions of dollars. You tell me they can't figure out a good emulator? No, that's a lie.
Do you buy in to the idea that that simply not enough people care to play backwards compatible games, old games, for them to invest the resources into under sweet capitalism? We got to make it make sense, baby. Dollar signs.
Here's what I think. If there's not enough people, they're all wrong. Those people need to know that it's important. Game preservation is important. It's so important.
What's the PS3 game you're trying to download and play? What is it?
That's a good question. I think it's Resistance 3. I'm wondering why they didn't put the entire Resistance trilogy on there for one. But I'm just like, I want to go back to Resistance. I love Resistance. Yeah. Oh, Infamous 1 and 2, of course. I also never played Festival of Blood. So I need to jump on that.
See, those I'm just like, just give me that remaster.
I know.
It's time. But for me, it's always gonna be PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Yeah, I'm a sick freak, Joe. Yeah, I love it. I love that game.
It's not on here though, is it?
No, it never is. It's not even on PlayStation Now. It's devastating. That game was on the PS3 and the Vita, and like my only way to play it right now is the Vita version.
Oh
so,
no.
Yeah, one day I was kind of holding out hope that one day we would get some Vita games on this service, and maybe that would be my way back in. But rest in
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Rest in
All-Star.
spaghetti. Yeah.
But man, look at that. We get When Vikings Attack. I've never heard of this game.
Yo, I played that. That was like an indie standout. That was one of those. What was it? Like crossplay on Vita, and they had a stupid name for it. The cross-buy,
yeah.
on Vita PS3.
What a wild generation that was.
Yeah. Tokyo Jungle's on there. They know the Tokyo Jungle fans. And what's funny is, I find this so stupid. But we've got Super Stardust HD, which means you can either stream Super Stardust HD, or you can download the less good-looking version and play the PSP one.
Of course. That's interesting. But you know what else is interesting? Demon Souls is PS3 streaming.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that's kind of a conflict of interest, because there was just the remake, but... I mean...
You want to go back?
Gotta go back. There's something about revisiting like games that don't look that great, and Demon Souls is one of them I'm curious about.
Okay.
So maybe I'll check that out. But here's another thing where you gotta make sure game streaming works, because if you get a delay in Demon Souls, it's unplayable. Practically unplayable. Like, you need those response times. But the third-party offerings, too, we got Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, Devil May Cry HD Collection, which just download the PS4 version. Not that hard. Enslaved Odyssey to the West, which I hear the PS3 version just runs like absolute crap, so we'll see about that. But, game preservation is important. Enslaved Odyssey to the West, underrated classic. Fear, Lost Planet 2, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. Just the Undead Nightmare expansion.
I'm not interested in any of these games. We can move on.
Very interesting.
No, not interested at all. Yeah, couldn't. Wow, what a list.
You're telling me you don't like Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Andy Serkis' own game.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, Andy Serkis is in it. He plays like 3 characters.
Andy, if you're watching, much love. Hope the fam is well, but no.
He's just like, I'm going to get him. He just whips out his Gollum voice whenever he's pissed off. Okay, is there anything else we are missing here on this list? We covered the time-limited game trials already.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty much got it covered.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else I'm missing, which I don't think there is. We've talked about this extensively, but a lot of people are comparing this to Nintendo Switch Online, naturally, because you always got to compare services. Of course, a lot of people compare this to Game Pass, stuff like that. Okay, so gun to your head, Jake, and I know what your answer is going to be, so don't even pretend. NSO or the all-new PlayStation Plus? You can only pick one.
Joey, I just want to start off by saying I love the console wars. I love them. And I
like
know
your
people
headset, by the way.
Thank you. I think people take them too seriously, people in the comments out there, like they're serving. I'm not serving in the console wars, but I do think that they rule as a meaningless, wholesome, funny business nonsense.
When it's wholesome. If it gets too ugly, it's just like, dude.
Right, no, exactly. Get out of there. Yeah. But I will not serve. in any war. Yeah. But I, of course, will have to pledge my allegiance to the all-new PlayStation Plus. I just find this offering way more attractive than what we're seeing on NSO. And I think what it is for me is that I have actual confidence that PlayStation can run an online platform and like deliver on just coming through every now and then with some new stuff, and it kind of having this appearance of, look at all this stuff. I gotta tell you, I even really like that PlayStation collection of games that you just get on the PS5. I think that's a great little collection. And what I'm getting here with between the PS4, between the PS5, between the PSX, between the PSP, all this stuff, I will play some of this. Mm-hmm. The Nintendo Switch Online, man, every month I go, oh, we're adding one game. You know, it's easy, no question. This easily.
Yeah, there's the case, of course, that Nintendo Switch Online is significantly cheaper than PlayStation, the all-new PlayStation Plus. But also, I'm kind of with you there, Jake.
Wait, what is the yearly on that expansion pass?
It's $50 a year if you're just one person.
For the whole kit and caboodle?
The whole kit and caboodle, $50 a year.
Really?
Yes.
Hey, that ain't bad.
It's not bad. It isn't.
All right.
How much is the all-new PlayStation Plus again for the highest tier? I forget off the top of my head.
She is expensive, and
yes.
it's also hard to tell because there's like a little bit of a conversion thing happening initially, you know?
Yeah.
So like I have PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, so it's just gonna bump me to the top tier without my anything happening. Yeah, so right. So I don't really feel whatever that price is right now. But it's definitely more expensive. I would venture to say it's like twice as expensive.
Yes. Yeah. But also I'm more inclined to play the games that are at least first offered here than just like the one game a month we get on NSO. Okay, I know it's not technically one game a month. There's just one Nintendo 64 game a month. But there's also the Genesis games, the Super NES games. But at this point, it's like they've already come out with their I would say best and also most replayed games, like, you know, the Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, the Ocarina of Time, the Majora's Mask. It's kind of just like, how much further can they go from here? Like they need to surprise me and give me GoldenEye or something for me to just play again. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So yeah, it is an interesting thing, and PlayStation does offer more than just the classic games. Nintendo Switch Online offers the expansion pack included. It only includes the classic games as well as the DLC add-ons for some games, which they're getting pretty good at adding more stuff to, not every month, but like every once in a while. So there's already the question of how long can the all-new PlayStation Plus commit to giving us content every single month, and how good is this content going to be?
I'm glad you brought up the downloadable content in the expansion pack, because I just want that on the table, though I've pledged my allegiance. I do think the expansion pass content pays for itself.
Yeah.
Especially if you are in a family plan. It's like, just like me and my 8 friends all with the Mario Kart booster pack. Okay, we've paid for it. Like, yeah. Everything else is just a bonus. So I don't think Nintendo's robbing anybody blind out here. But am I getting hype about Nintendo Switch Online? Am I watching Nintendo Directs going, what's coming to NSO? You know, like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just not. Now,
was
like,
that your Andy Serkis impression?
I don't know what that was, but I've been reflecting on this a little bit about what is exciting to me in the classic world, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe simply I am a victim of my own age, and maybe because I'm a millennial and the kind of systems and games that I have the most nostalgia for and would like to go back to are of, like, I'm gonna say the console generation that is like gone and forgotten, Joey. I feel like PS3, we gotta be streaming. Wii games, we're never getting those back.
Nope.
So it's a little sad because there's games I think about sometimes and I'm like, damn, Wii Sports Resort, lost to the sands of time.
Yep. Oh my God. So I'm in the same boat with you. That's why I'm just like the whole game preservation is important. And don't even get me started on the GameCube games, Jake. The GameCube games that, man, my God, I remember going to a game store and just wondering, hey, do you guys have Eternal Darkness? This was like a few years back. And they're like, oh yeah, it's like $50. And I'm here like, that's too much money. No,
Mario
it's not.
Baseball. Give me that Mario Baseball, money. Joey. What about, you know what I think could really make some movement and excitement for me with these games is that we've said this before, that there's kind of like the go-to set of these are the games we're going to put back out because they're easy to publish. Maybe we own the publishing rights, maybe we have those relationships, whatever. Where are the forgotten licensed games of the past? Where's Justice League Heroes? Do you remember this game?
I never played it, no, but I know it's a hit game.
It's like Diablo gameplay, but you're the Justice League.
Oh my goodness, that sounds.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It's like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance type deal. Like that's another one. What if
we did get Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Actually, we got a remaster for it. The last console generation. I heard it wasn't very good. But
it was delisted.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's delisted. I still have it though, Joey. I got it.
Okay, good.
But it's delisted.
My goodness.
But yeah, so it's a shame, because looking back at those generations of games growing up then, you don't know any better then. A lot of those memories you do have with those consoles are associated with titles that are not necessarily legacy titles.
Yeah.
And those, and it's like such a pipe dream to think that those games could ever show up on a service like this. So when asking that question of what do I want, what would get me excited, you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
I feel like I'm asking for something that I just feel I have no reason to believe it could ever happen. So I have a hard time getting excited for these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it could happen. It's just the people in charge are like, hey, legacy content doesn't matter. Yes, it does, guys. Yes, it does. The way that they preserve movies now, like they just released the Godfather trilogy in 4K. Like I demand the same level of preservation come to video games. Straight up. I'm not saying they need to be remastered or anything. They just need to be made available.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Where is it, Joey? There it is. There's Shadow the Hedgehog. It could be the GameCube.
I don't have my earphones on. I gotta put them back on.
We can do GameCube. We can do PS2. We can do any, like Xbox. They got their backwards compatibility figured out. Yet I still can't play Shadow the Hedgehog anywhere. Why?
I mean, should you? You should. Not a good game, but you should.
that local multiplayer mode, fun to be had.
I guess you're right about that.
That's right.
I'm just gonna hold this up for the rest of the video.
Well, listen, that's a masterpiece right there. All right.
How many times does Shadow say the D word? So many times.
Oh God.
How is this
so cool?
This game has a lower rating than Kirby the Crystal Shards.
Whoa.
That game got a T rating, and this has E10 and up.
That's awesome. God,
he's holding a gun on the cover.
No, you can't like limit his audience, you know what I mean? It's just good for the mind and the body to like experience Shadow the Hedgehog. But yeah, so I guess I feel like we've covered it. It's there's not a lot to say about this because we don't really have the particulars of the experience, and there's always little things that you can never you never see coming. Like with Nintendo Switch Online, having the borders whenever you play those games like bugs me, and maybe I'm a psychopath for thinking that.
Bugs me too.
Okay, yeah, it bugs me, and so it's like stuff like that where they say, oh, these classic games have a new interface, and I'm wondering if that's going to like enhance my experience or not.
It's really bad you can't turn that border off. Like that's an unforgivable sin right there.
I also think I need PlayStation to revitalize because I think you can do this, but I think it needs to be fixed up a little bit. The whole like streaming to your phone and like playing, you know what, like remote play. Yeah, I know it exists and I know it's there, but every time I go to the app, I like have issues with like my controller and doing it, and you like have to use a DualSense or something. You know what I mean? And I haven't
tried that out yet. You're talking about PlayStation now, right? I'm sorry, I'm just staring at this beautiful case.
No, I know. So there's like a remote play app that you can get on your phone.
Yes, that's right.
And it just connects and does, direct connection.
I thought about trying that because when I had family over, I just wanted to be in my office and play Elden Ring, but I haven't had the chance to set that up on my PC yet. So something to experiment with, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Just more options. Open it up a little, guys. Like you can. I know you're trying to control that experience. I get it, but it's I just love everything that they're doing over on the Xbox side with the infrastructure. It's just a shame there's nothing I want to play over there. Am I right? The console wars, Joey.
Is that you? I love the way you're holding your hands like you're profiting off of the console wars, like you're some like arms dealer or something.
That's why I'm pushing on the console wars because I'm in the back for getting all those profits. You know what I mean?
Fun fact: the movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage is based on Jake's life.
That's me.
Except it's about the console wars.
It's about the console wars, dude. It's about the
exactly.
Oh,
all right.
Man. Well, yeah, please.
Yeah, we're gonna close this out with just. Yeah. I just have one thing to ask you, Jake. Do you have any final thoughts?
I came into this thinking I was pretty happy with this. A solid 7 out of 10 rating on the impressions of the all-new PlayStation Plus. I'm walking away feeling a little worse. Feeling a little soured on it. My excitement wanes. I think my standards are too low, and I need to have a conversation with myself about what I should demand as a consumer.
Probably, yeah. I'm actually a little more excited after reading this. Not like insanely excited. I'm still have my reservations for it, but I'm just like, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna play that PSP game I forget the name of already. Sorry.
Wait, can we get people in the comments? I want people to put out their forgotten, lost to the sands of time game that they think is never gonna reappear. That they just like my Justice League heroes. You know what I mean?
What's your Shadow the Hedgehog, everybody?
Yes.
Just
what is it?
Oh. Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah.
And you can't say Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time because that's not forgotten at all. It's on PC right now.
Yeah, it's coming
or
back.
Stuff like that. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this discussion here on GameXplain. Let us know in the comments the answer to the question that Jake just asked, and also tell us, are you excited for the all-new PlayStation Plus? And also comment how much you love Shadow the Hedgehog. Until next time, everyone, bye.